Okay, so let's have a look at our new player card theme for DSLR Remote Pro. Now we've made this for a bunch of different screen resolutions. If the screen resolution you need is not listed, just reach out and we'll whip it up for you. No worries. So let's just run through a basic session so you can see how it looks. We'll go ahead and press the next button. And so now, because in 3.30 of Remote Pro, we've got radio button support, it makes selecting things like player positions a little bit nicer because we can do things like this. So I'll go ahead and select my position and I can put my shirt number in. I can go ahead and put my name and it's going to count down and take the picture. Okay, so I'll process that, and there we go. There's my print layout. So we've also, of course, got all the keyboards customized as well. It looks pretty nice. Email, SMS. Um, and these are all editable templates. So I'll show you that in a moment as well. But just a couple of things before we jump into that. We'll just exit out here. So we've got this one set up as just making a digital layout. So if we go into advanced settings, output. So currently in 3.30, there's the new option to basically save a JPEG copy only without having to select a printer driver. So I've just got that set as a custom print layout size as 1200 by 1800. So you could obviously set that back to print and JPEG and then set it up for your desired print output as well. So that's pretty straightforward there. So as I was saying, you also get all the editable Canva templates. So um, if we have a look here, so basically every screen is there and all the screens are named already, so it makes it easy. So if you need to adjust anything, you can just go ahead and then export these screens as JPEGs and then pop them into your assets folder like you normally would. Now, the nice thing about Canva is it makes it really easy to go ahead and tweak things like colors. So if we want to change it, so change this one to yellow, but if I want to change it to the team colors of blue, for example, we can select blue here and then go ahead and change all the yellow elements to blue. And we've just gone through and reskinned the whole thing really quickly. So you then just hit the share button, download, set it to JPEG, download all those screens, and then you pop them into your assets folder and replace all these elements here. So nice and easy and gives you a lot of flexibility. So you'd be obviously very welcome to adjust these screens as you need. Now, obviously, in Remote Pro, editing keyboards and surveys still has to be done via XML. And that's a big benefit of this template is you don't have to mess about with that too much. So if you do want to go ahead and move the position of keys and things like that, obviously you can, but you'd need to adjust the corresponding XML file as well. So I would suggest personally, if you're making changes, to just try and keep everything roughly in the same position and just switch out the type of element for perhaps a sport that you're working on. So if we come back into Remote Pro, we'll go into our print layout as well. So we can see we've got it all set up with the survey text. You can obviously move that round or reposition it and change fonts and colors and styles as you need, just by usual. So we've got all the options here. Now we've also set this one up for the option to do face swap through Breeze FX as well. Obviously you don't have to do this, but if you want to, we do have the option there to enable that. So what we've got is within your folder of assets, there will be a subfolder called AI Survey, and you can grab these screens here. And if you copy those and just pop them back in alongside all your other screen assets, now when we run a session through, we'll have the option for gender and skin tone, but we still need to configure a couple extra things on that. It might be worth watching our player card tutorial for the iPad app and skipping ahead to the FX setup section because it covers off this part of the FX setup in a bit more detail, but I'll just quickly speed you through it. So what we need to do once we've got that in there, we need to enable the post-processing and FX options within Remote Pro. So we'll come into Advanced Settings, Output, and we'll turn on Post-Process Photos here. Okay, and so we've basically got our options here. So I've already preset the survey screen options and the tokens for you. So basically, survey 3 _ radio gender will return male or female. Then we'll have dash radio skin, which will return the skin type, which will then match up to our FX configuration. So if we jump into FX real quickly, we can see these ones that I've created earlier. We have face swap options for male dash white, male dash tan, male dash black, and we'll have the same across the page here for female dash white, female dash tan, female dash black. So you need to go ahead and create all of those. You then need the company URL, and that needs to be replaced. We've got your URL here with your company URL, and then put in your password for FX, which is in settings, and it will be your FX integration password that you can grab right there. So once you got that put in, then you'll have a new option to do face swap. So let's okay all that. We'll run that. Okay. So it'll be all the same as before. So you can now select gender and skin tone. Let's take a moment to process. Okay, so there we go. So now we've got a face swap version that also shows the original down the bottom here as well. Now, I should have just pointed out on that note, if we just jump back into the print layout, if we come into the print layout, this copy of the first image here, if we right click this and say edit photo, has the option use original unprocessed image. So that's how we get our original image onto the layout there. It's also important to note that in the advanced settings, output settings, post-process photos that you have for that to work, you need to have the save copy of original photos and original folder option enabled as well. And lastly, how do you actually go ahead and load in your settings? So once you've downloaded all the assets, what do you do? So basically you would come into your photo booth settings here, save the folder. So basically you'll get a folder of assets that looks something like this, including those face swap images. So obviously I skipped ahead a little bit. These are the face swap images. So if you are doing the FX configuration, you would upload these accordingly to the config that you're doing. So female black, female tan, female white, etc. But otherwise you'll have a folder for each of the screen resolutions we support. And again, if the one you need is not there, please reach out and we will just make it up for you. So you would come back into Breeze, say load, and you'd find the screen resolution that matches the computer that you're using. So in my case here, it's 2880 by 1920, and then just hit settings, open that, and that's all you need to do. That will load all the settings in, and then you can start adjusting things as you normally would. But yeah, in short, this is our player card set up for Remote Pro. If you're wanting to get into this kind of thing, this is a huge time saver. Just saves you having to build out all the survey screens, and obviously you can tweak them as you normally would. But yeah, and it's will work on the radio button support works on 3.30 and above. You can run this on older versions, but you won't get the radio button support, which I think is a pretty nice touch. So definitely worth considering being at least on 3.30. If you have any questions, just jump into the comments and let me know.